This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each verse. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each verse. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai. This is what we're looking at for Wednesday NBA slate. So if you were paying attention to anything I've said, on this YouTube show in the last 2 weeks, you've won an insane amount of money. We are hitting at an extreme, the show in general, this whole channel, you can go back 2 years on this, all the videos we put out. We already hit on a higher rate than any other YouTube show that does any kind of sports betting stuff. But the last 2 weeks, we've been on fire. Hit, I think, 90-something percent, 95% maybe, of all the things that we dropped in this show. All you have to do is just listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Now, what that means is not fast-forwarding to the end and just locking in whatever it shows on the screen. That's not how you win. You have to learn what I'm saying, you have to use what I'm saying, and then you have to use the PlayerProps.ai app with what I'm saying. Let's say, for example, for yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Let's say maybe you were like, man, I wish there was an NBA show for yesterday. You have an NBA show. Last Wednesday of last week, when we did hit the Julius Randle over points, just rewatch that show and then copy and paste what I did in that show for Tuesday, and then you have your NBA Tuesday show. These episodes are evergreen. That means they don't die just because the game we're talking about doesn't exist anymore. You use the shows to master how to use the app. That's why I do the shows. I don't do these shows just to tell you one thing that's going to work out 90% of the time. No, that's just an added bonus. The reason I do this is because I want to consistently be educating you and teaching you how to use this app correctly. Do you know how many people download this app and don't use the app correctly? Because they ignore all of the guidelines, they ignore all of the videos, and they think they know exactly what everything means. There's a good chunk of them. There's a good chunk of people, and then they're like, oh man, why didn't this app sucks. The 15 pick parlay I locked in using this app only went 14 out of 15. That sucks. When everybody else who understands how to use the app is essentially like rolling their eyes like, oh, you had 14 out of 15. If you just listened to what the CEO told you to do, you would have a lot of profit off those 14 hits. Anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to think of some other news before we start talking about this. So I guess in some good news, bringing on another dev that is going to expedite a lot of the fun things that we want to build, which means it also is going to expedite version 3.0, expedite, what is happening with my screen here? Some other things as well. There's a lot of stuff that you guys have been saying hey, we like this, but we would like this. What about adding this? There's all the suggestions in the suggestions box, which is a channel in Discord. We've definitely been looking at those, keeping track of those, but I'm very excited that we brought somebody else on the team within the last 12 hours, 24 hours, and it's gonna definitely expedite a lot of those things happening. So excited about that. So let's just stop the chit-chat, jibber-jabber, and let's focus on what we're looking at for NBA tonight. Let me see how many games we got. 1, 2, there's a good chunk of games. Let's see if there's any trifectas on the point side. Shading Sharp is over trifecta, and we have... So, this guy is essentially on a ban list. Hold on. So, this is something that you need to pay attention to. So you see how his position, his standard position is small forward. And we have a defensive ranking of Detroit versus small forwards for points. Make sure you're clicking this button and you're looking at what he's projected to start at for specifically tonight's game. And because of the injuries and all the stuff the Chicago Bulls have, he's been starting in the 4 spot, the power forward spot. So because he's projected to start in a different position, this information could be vastly different. So even though there's a lot of red here, this and this and this, you have to factor in that because of their injuries, he's not starting in the small forward position as he more often is accustomed to because of all the injuries they're having. But anyway, he's somebody that I wouldn't touch anyway. I feel like he goes off. I mean, he's got a lot of red, but he goes off enough that I don't know if I want to look that direction. But anyway, let's look at this overplay here. Shaden Sharp, Portland, New Orleans. The first thing I want to do here, the most important thing I think to start with, which I've gone over in the last handful of NBA shows we've done for you guys, is you want to see what the AI says about this game. So let's scroll real quick. Portland. Okay, so we want to stay away from games that are blowout potential. Blowout potential is when it's like minus 9.5 or higher, so like minus 9.5, minus 10, minus 10.5, whatever. And the AI also favors that the favored team in this potential double-digit win is going to cover their spread. So this is just on the cusp of that. The Portland Trail Blazers are minus 8.5. Pelicans are plus 8.5. But the AI says that there's a little bit of a chance, projected AI projection here for the 52.39%, that the Pelicans lose by less than 8 points. So that's what I was looking at first. It's interesting that Portland is an 8.5 favorite because Portland's been horrible for so long. But I guess the Pelicans are just that much worse. Let me peep the total for this. Total, nothing there. Yeah, so they're a minus 345 money line, which also means that they are a 77.53% implied chance. Is what the sportsbooks are telling us, that sportsbooks are giving Portland a 77% chance to win. RAI only gives Portland a 72% chance to win, which is why this is red, which means you're not betting on either money line of this game. But what it's telling us is that it should be a little bit closer than what the lines and the odds suggest. So now we're gonna go back to our guy Shaden. So I like to see this. So yes, there's a lot of red here, but just look at the bigger picture. He is consistent. He's not having horrible games covering, horrible games covering. Like the worst. Does he have any games before 10-22? Hold on. No. So this is all this season. He's played 10 games this season. Started out 29 minutes, only playing 29 minutes, but horrible 5 for 20 shooting, 15 points. And then every game, it's been 15, 16, 16, 18, 19, hit 23, 18, 21, and then went off for 31 against the Magic. Again, you want to make sure that he's starting in that position. And he is. So Shaden Sharp, who's normally a shooting guard, is projected to be the shooting guard position. So that means we can apply this ranking data, which is kind of in the middle anyway. So it's not really sexy. It's not bad. It's not good. It's yellow. It's not anything special. The last time he versus New Orleans in January of last season, earlier this year, in 34 minutes, he got 21 points. (29, 29, 23, 28, 24). So yeah, he's getting 25. He's averaging, what is this? 26, 27 minutes on average through these 10 games as the starting shooting guard. He needs 20 to hit. Let's see if we can find him. Let's look at something real quick here. Let's see if we can find him at a lower line, because his hit rate becomes a lot higher. Shaden, where are you? Shaden, there we go. Nope, 19.5 is the best. All sportsbooks that have him at that have him going over. The best payout right now is on DraftKings. And the rest of the books have him at 20.5. Let's look at the other trifectas here real quick. So I don't know. what so I told you that you have to pay attention to the projected position for the day. So there's something that we're working on actually that takes his projected position and puts it here so it matches this. So this is just like his standard position, and then we match the defensive thing to that. But because there's a lot of people that I've seen this season, not just this guy, who because of injuries and stuff, they're getting moved around to positions they normally don't play in, or that's not their base position like this, that we're working on mapping it to the projected roster. So that's going to be coming out soon as well, which alleviates this issue. But for now, just make sure you're double checking. But even though all the stuff that you see on the screen is like, oh, this is nice, don't trust that guy. Just don't trust him. So the other under trifecta is this guy who's gotten a lot of playing time because of injuries. I believe he's probably... Oh. So, I think they're on a back-to-back. These guys just played yesterday. Dort did not play. Dort did not start. He did not play. This guy here, Mitchell, was a starter. How do I know that? Because he's on my fantasy team, and I have 3 Oklahoma City Thunder people on my fantasy basketball team. I have Kassan Wallace, I have Chet Holmgren, and then I have this Mitchell guy that we're looking at. Why do I have 3 of the same team? It's this situation. I had a horrible draft pick, and then that's what it is. But this guy yesterday, at halftime, he had 1 fantasy point. This guy, I'm very frustrated by him. And the fact that he's getting starting minutes and he's horrible last night. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, what we have to focus on here is Dort. If Dort starts, that makes Mitchell come out of the bench as a small forward, or not even as a small forward. He just comes out of the bench for help. He's not a starting shooting guard. He's not a starting small forward, but he's just going to probably get a little bit less minutes than normal. And because of injuries, he's covered this line quite often. But this is something this is not where we're going to go on the show, but it's something to monitor. Like, if you get the notification in Discord, so we have a channel, we have channels for everything in Discord, which, again, there's no excuses why you're not in there. It's a free to join Discord server. But there's a channel called NBA News, and it's a live updated channel. So just monitor that. If you see some news about like Dort starting, maybe you want to look at this. Maybe, but I don't know. He's been pretty consistent, but these are all 31, 32 minutes. This is 20 minutes. 31 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. No, he's been hitting this, but I don't know. Dort can play, he can't play, so we're not going to worry about that. So I don't like either of these 2 under trifectas. Over trifectas, we only got 1 on Shaden. I'm just curious though, why is his line at 19.5? Oh, he's not a trifecta anymore. DraftKings just changed the over odds to -109 and the under to -117. I think he's still... Oh wait, points. Over. Okay, so he's still over trifecta on FanDuel at 19.5, but DraftKings just shifted. He's no longer a trifecta on DraftKings because the odds shifted to favor his under. We can see that back on the comparison tool here. Yeah, so now DraftKings favors the under. FanDuel still favors the over, as does BetRivers and want a parlay. No, I'm going to take that as a sign. I'm going to take it as a sign to not do that. If it shifts during the show, I'm going to take that as a sign. Let's move the minimum points line to 13 and see what we got here. This guy is like the best player on Trailblazers. This guy is great. He versed them 27 minutes, got 26 points. This is the same team, the same matchup they were talking about with Shaden. 37 minutes, 37 minutes, 37 minutes. This guy does not go to the bench. Even with 5 personal fouls, 5-3, he's had back-to-back games of almost fouling out, and he's still putting up points and still not going to the bench. Projected to be in the small forward spot. Looks okay, so it's projected to be in the power forward spot. Because he's normally a small forward, it matches the small forward here. So I think there's something I want to try here. What I'm interested in, because he's playing in a position that's not normally his main position, what if we did this? So we single out this game, and then we look for if there's anybody, boom. So, this is what I was doing. So Kamara, you see where it says small forward? So, he's not, you see up here, he's a PF, power forward. And then Denny, for whatever this should probably be flipped, but maybe this is what the Portland Trailblazers are planning to do. I don't know. But if you see a player whose position here does not match here, just find another player that does that. So right now, even though we have Kamara pulled up, we're not pulling him up to look at him. We're to look at his stats or look at his projection or anything. We're pulling him up to look at the ranking. Because Denny is projected to play out of the 4 spot, which is the power forward spot, this data applies to Denny because it's synced to power forwards playing the Pelicans, which is what Denny is projected to start with. So you can always just, so if there is a mismatch based on what their main position is and what they're probably playing tonight, whether it's injuries or getting moved around, just go to the game, single the game out, and look at and try to find a player of the same team that you're looking at the position that the player is projected to start in. I hope that makes sense. So Denny is playing the power forward spot. That's what's projected. So 80th. It's kind of like right there in the middle, roughly. There's 150 positions, which means the smack dab in the middle is 75. So it's pretty in the middle there. This guy's hit the 60% of the season, and like I said with Shaden, how he's pretty consistent. This guy's also pretty consistent. He hasn't had a game under. No, I was gonna say he hasn't had a game under 20 points, but this one was 19. But yeah, he's attacking the basket a lot more here. There's a 4.6 point difference here. Let's see if we can find him any cheaper on a sports book. He's projected to get almost the same amount of minutes as he normally has. Yeah, everything seems to be on the uptick. So you want to see, if you're going over, you want to see a lot more green here. This red stuff of 3 free throws made, I mean, it's literally 0.01 away from his last 10 games average. This is double-double blocks. Like, we're not too worried about that stuff. The stuff that we want to see is like the assist and the combo stats and everything like that. He's averaged 25.5 points over the last 10 games. If he hits that same average, and he hits this line here. But again, we want to see if we can find him cheaper somewhere else. Still focusing on the same Portland game. Nope. Every book across the board has him at 24.5. One. So DraftKings favors the under. One a parlay barely favors the under. They got minus 120, minus 119 on the over. Everybody else is either equal, like these three. They're equal to their over-under odds, or they're favoring the over, like Bet Rivers, Fanatics, and FanDuel. 24.5 is a pretty hefty line. And why, you might ask, is he not a trifecta? Is because the difference, percentage difference, has to be a little bit higher. I mean, it's true difference. Like, if you're doing the math here, there is a 5.15 difference between Shaden's line and his projection, and then he has a 4.68 difference. So it's almost the same difference between the line and the projection. The higher you get on the line, the harder it is to hit a higher difference. But what do we want to do here? So I'm leaning Denny, but before we do that, let's just check other stats real quick. So my second favorite stat is the PRA. PRA, you want to have a minimum line of, what, like 20, I think? Denny's been pretty consistent with that as well. 52, barely hooked 37. Let me look at his other stuff here. Let's look at his rebounds. Rebounds are all over the place. They're pretty good on the assists. He's almost a trifecta on assist. I think this has to be 6.0 here to make this a trifecta, because it has to be 1.5 higher than the line, and it's 1.39. Let's look at points and assist. So his line movement, he was at 30.5, he's at 29.5. He's been pretty consistent the entire season. Has had lower than 20, well, besides the first game, has had lower than 24. 4 straight games of 32 and higher. So the reason we're looking at points and assists is because we were already looking at his points, right? We looked at the rebounds, and the rebounds are kind of all over the place. There's a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But then we went to the assist, and a lot of highs, a lot of lows, I guess, around here. But like, if this guy can almost hit like a double-double on us points and assists, he can have a game where maybe he can have like 9 or 8 assists today, and then maybe not hit. Maybe he gets like 24 points exactly, would hook his point line, but 24 plus 9 assist easily covers this right here, which... It's a very young season, and we haven't done anything besides... I think everything we've done has pretty much been points. I don't think we've done a combo one yet. Let's see... 29.5. There's one more thing I want to check. And this is how you should be using the app. You should be considering all of these things. So you're like, oh man, this is a 22-minute video. This video, it takes 22 minutes to see how my brain works, but when you're using it, you don't have to spend as much time, because I'm already teaching you how to do everything quickly. I'm just talking through it, so to set you up for success. We were just looking at FanDuel. Oh no, not points, rebounds, assists. Points and assists. Yeah, it looks like everybody but Bet Rivers has 29.5. And everybody but DraftKings favors the over. Man. One more thing we want to do. The thing that we haven't done yet is we haven't looked at the Portland Trailblazers power forward versus Pelicans assist defensive ranking. Hopefully that made sense when I said that out loud, because it doesn't show the ranking on the combo stuff. So if you're doing points and assists, we already know, looking at Kamara points, what the defensive ranking is for that. But we haven't looked at assists yet. Oh yeah, the line can't be this high. So he's projected to play the power forward, so we're looking at Kamara. We see here, Pelicans versus power forwards are actually 22nd in defensive allowing assist play from players playing the powered forward spot. So this would have me shy away from Denny assist, because Denny's projected to play out of this spot, and this is their defensive ranking. And remember, red is no bueno. So I think we're going to stick with points, which is normally what we do anyway. So the question you're probably asking yourself, I had a little pause there to have a little think, is why is Travis going with something when there's a trifecta right here? So here's the things to consider. One, even though the projection difference percentage is 26 and 19, the true difference between the value here and the value here is almost the same. They both hit their respective line, and the only game they've played the last 365 days against this team, which was January of this year, where they both hit it. But then this guy's been extremely consistent this season. 60% of the time he's hit this line. Only 30% of the time has he hit this line. 30% of the time the last 10 games, which is the same. These are the same because there's only been 10 games this season. So these two are going to be the same value. 80% of the last 5, 60%. And Denny is like the main scoring person. I don't think there's anybody on the Portland Trail Blazers that has a points projection higher than 20. No, Pelicans. Yeah. So Shaden's has this 19.5 is the second highest. Denny's the guy. He's their guy. I think he's going to be our guy. You can also consider Shaden Sharp if you want to. There's nothing I hate about him. I think I just like Denny a little bit more. They both have almost identical accuracies, AI accuracy, so it is what it is on that, but 24.5 is a lot of points, but I think this is something that Denny can do. So let's go ahead and let's do that. And that's, again, depending on when you're watching this. If you watch this anytime, it doesn't matter when you watch this. When you do watch this, make sure that you do this first. So even if you watch this as soon as it drops, go to the props comparison, go to the stat, and see if there's if this is red, that means there's a book that offers something lower than the line, and just make sure you have the best possible thing. But this is what we're going to be rocking with for Wednesday. Hopefully keep the NBA streak going. But make sure that you're in the Discord. There's no excuses. If you want to try a week pass, we actually, it's a free week pass because of how it works is when you sign up for it, we credit it back to your PlayerProps.ai account. So it's like you never paid for anything in the first place, and then you can apply that credit to a future month. If you want more details on that, just go to the website. Just open up your Google Chrome browser, your Safari browser, literally type PlayerProps.ai/weekpass. It'll give you all the details to that. But you have to be in the Discord to be as successful as you want to be. You have to be in the Discord to be as successful as the other people that are successful in Discord. And you have to apply yourself. You have to actually do the stuff, at minimum, the free stuff that's available to you. But yeah, as long as you try as hard as you can to be successful, you'll be successful. The only people that can't be successful are the people that don't try. So you're either in the pool of people that try and don't give up, or you're the pool of people that do not try. The only people who have not had success with sports betting and or PlayerProps.ai are people that don't try. Everybody that's tried has success. That's why we keep growing. You're like, oh, how has there been so many people in the Discord that have a role or a Discord role that says that they've been a premium member for 12 plus months? Why in the world would somebody want to be a premium member for over a year? Oh, maybe because it works. It works when you use it as it's designed. That is why there's 18,000 plus people in Discord. That's why there's 200,000 people in the Facebook group. That's why there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people using PlayerProps.ai, because when you use it as I've been teaching you, it works. All you have to do is just follow the guidelines. If you don't know the guidelines, go to the Discord channel that says welcome to VIP. There's guidelines in there. If you have questions, there's 1,000 channels in Discord you can ask a question in. That's actually encouraged. The people that have the most success are the ones that are asking questions. What does this mean? Or how do I do this? Or what do you guys think about this play? Anything under the sun. Ask questions. Those are the most successful people. But good luck, guys, and we'll see you in the Discord. If you haven't yet, there's already a Thursday Night Football video available for tomorrow's Thursday Night Football game. Check that out as well on the YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that, unless you're a psychopath. Good luck.